collective, you are one of one in multiple people's eyes right now. Like, people have just never met somebody like you before. People have never seen just a person like you. I kind of laugh because it's like, if you weren't here, it wouldn't be real. That's just how I'm getting it. Like, if you were not physically in front of people, there's nothing anybody could do to convince another person that someone like you exists. You're just authentic. You're so real in such a fake place. And it's like, that may sound like a cliche of the 21st century, but it's still true. Like, people are robotic where you are colorful. People are, I want to say, sterile where you're filled with life. Like, something about you contrasted with a bunch of other people that are around you is giving me, like, again, like something natural you versus something artificial them. And I know they're like, damn, are you trying to hype my ego? It's like, no, I'm trying to make you see something, because I feel like you have weird interactions with people and you will take it as it's something you've done or something, but it's them. It's them. They just cannot, I don't know, they just can't really deal with you like they deal with each other, collective. And it's beyond neurodivergent. It's more than that. It's more than that. There's something, I guess, a bit profound about your difference. And that's what this message is about. One of one. First card we got out on the table is the moon. The moon is all about hidden intentions. It's all about what lies under the surface. And here there's a dynamic between you and other people that isn't readily seen, but it's felt by the participants, being you and some others, right? There is a noticeable change between you and people. And it's not bad on your end, right? Again, it's that filled with life versus a wiped clean, sterile laboratory. Like, there's something, I don't know, I'm getting a workshop for you and a laboratory for them. It's like it's weird, right? It's clinical. Whereas you're experimenting. And you would be like, but wait, don't you experiment in a lab? Yes, but the type of experimenting I'm talking about is figuring yourself out. What these people are doing are reading from the pages of a book that was already written for them, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. I'm not going to sit here and trash people for following a path already paved. That's not fair. Not everybody is meant to pave their own path, but you are, right? The moon comes to let you know that your path is unseen, but you have the eyes to see it. And it just so happens that other people may not, but that doesn't matter because they're not supposed to see it, right? So here, collective, like, you are definitely writing the pages as you go. It's a beautiful journey. It gave me, oh my gosh, Jiraiya from Naruto and the Tales of the Gallon, I think that's what it was called. And he was writing that book about his entire life, and he used characters from his life, right? Like, there's something like that. Like, it's very, and even when he went out like content with a smile on his face. There's something here about where, like, you are literally a storyteller, but it gives me something like an oral tradition. It's something ancient feeling as well, that you're kind of like walking in modern day. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming out of the woods. Like, you're in the woods, right? And when people see you emerge from the woods, they're like, where did this come from? I feel like you have many sides to you, collective. That dark forest is where they all reside. Look, I was gonna say king of the jungle. We got the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of the Jungle. Like, there's a wildness about you, but there's also refinement. You're giving me Maleficent from the live action movie sitting on her throne in the middle of the woods surrounded by the creatures. There's something like that. There's something very regal but wild. That's why you're one of one, because there's contradictions to your personality that, if done through anyone else, it wouldn't work. But for you, because you bridge different sides of things, because you can kind of connect things, even unrelated things. Like, you have a network, you build a network. The Queen of Pentacles, she does network, but she's like environmental regulation, environmental Mother Nature, essentially, Mother Nature, where whatever she touches, it's gonna grow, it's gonna flow, and it's gonna prosper. And people see that with you. It's not just a Midas touch. I'm want to call it a green thumb. The Midas touch is a curse, right? People forget that the touch of gold is a curse. Everything you touch will turn to gold. You can pick up that grape with a fork, but your tongue is going to turn it to solid gold. Like a green thumb, on the other hand, is like wherever you want something to grow, you have the skill set and the tools to make it grow. This is honestly setting you apart. It's not common, collected. The green thumb energy that you have, that deep care, right? It's just that Gaia energy. That's what this gives. Like you're connected to the earth, and not like in the worldly way. I'm sure, you know what, worldly, I feel like in the spiritual community is looked at as being evil, and it is, part of it is, right? But there's also something about being cultured here, and I'm feeling I'm getting that from you, rather than like the esoteric meaning of worldly, which would be the devil. um, no, that's not what you're giving. You're giving me well learned. We got the Two of Wands here. This is somebody who studies humanity. This is somebody who studies the psyche, the arts, the mechanisms behind human society. People have no idea what the fuck is going on in that melon of yours all day because you're not thinking about normal things. You're really not. This is why you come across as one of one. And I feel like you don't vocalize this. This is like conversations going on between your spirit team, yourself, and it's like you're getting deep. You go there to the core and beyond it. And it's like spirit is needing you to kind of like work on that, like saying it, telling people. I feel like somebody with this amount of energy, this amount of like knowledge, it's for a reason to be shared. And again, you're protected from the wrong person getting the right information from you, because it's something about you that if they aren't real, authentic, they're going to get turned off and they're just going to be repelled by you. You have like a safety mechanism. Like I feel like, oh my gosh, like those videos on TikTok when a girl is being harassed or like approached by a man she wants nothing to do with. Oh my gosh. Um, and basically she's like barking like a dog or acting crazy because people are terrified of it. Like there's something like you have a way about you to where the magnetism you hold and what it attracts. And so because of that, it's like your subconscious mind, because we're going back to the moon, because there's something involuntary about this almost. Like when your intuition picks up on some fuckery, some fuck shit, your attitude switches up so funnily that it's almost a whiplash effect. It's like you'll go from being that couth, elegant, smooth, just stunning one, shining one from across the room, and then it's like an energy vampire will smell you like blood in the water and they'll beeline to you. And I feel like that even strangers, and it's like, what does that even look like when people are just like flocking around you and like being weird, just being in your space for no reason? And I feel like that you've gotten this skill about you to where you know how to repel people now. And like you've got magnetism down to the point where now you're repelling, right? And if we're going back to Jiraiya, the six paths of pain literally have a power. Those are the people that killed Jiraiya. They have a power that like it's a control of gravity essentially. And it's like your center of gravity, what you have got, I don't know, in your core, how you've balanced it out. It's just giving me power, like larger than life, larger than these obstacles, larger than these people. That's how you're stepping right now, collective. The Two of Wands, people know you have plans, and people know you're going to see those plans through. Why do I say that? Because you're here right now. You've already done so much that it has shattered people's image of you, and it has forced them to see the real you. And it's like you're not even done yet. There's still stuff in the works. Like people feel like it just cannot be. It cannot be. Please. I don't even know. You're making people feel broke. Not monetarily. not monetarily, but spiritually. Because when the masculine is in reverse, but the feminine is upright, it's, oh my gosh, it's infertility. Do you know I was talking about sterile, like being sterile earlier? This is infertility. Okay, basically, in energy, you need the masculine energy to potentiate, stimulate the feminine energy. The feminine energy is passive until activated, right? So it's like you could have all the ideas in the world and they could be $1 million ideas. But if you don't put action towards them, which is the stimulus, right? It'll never happen, right? They need to be made manifest, made physical, and you do that. You put action behind it. What people think that you're doing is you sit there and think, right? You just in your mind, you affirm, you affirm, you affirm, and that's why your life looks the way it does. No, no, baby. You got to affirm and you got to act. And this is where they mess up. They do not act. The King of Pentacles in reverse is infertile, someone who cannot grow what's in them to the outside, you know? And so I feel like you're serving as a hard reminder of this, that you have made your inner your outer, and that there is no illusion between your subconscious and conscious mind. There's no hiccups, there's no lies, there's no false sense of self there for it to trip you up, for it to put you in the reverse. I feel like that we have this Two of Wands right here for a reason. The two pillars on the side of the man holding the world in his hands, because he has both the energy and the action behind it to see it done. And also overseen by the Almighty, right? Like walking in truth, walking in purpose. You're something, you're something they cannot deal with because they cannot brute force you. They cannot, it just doesn't work, right? You already know who you are. Look, you know, Ten of Swords. See, this is you. Okay, I've got multiple little downloads with this Ten of Swords. First off, first download is, where are you? People feel like you've disappeared. And when you reemerged, you were different, right? Like you were different. It's like you actualized your potential, something that people love to tell you had, but never wanted to like help you grow it, right? And I feel like you got fed up with that and you just cut up, you just disappeared. And then when you pop back out, because you didn't just like disappear, bitch, you went into your desert, you went into that cave, and you came out like something that they've never seen before, something frightening to them. You were not supposed to grow like this, but yes, you were, just in their eyes, right? But I'm telling you, you got them like shaking in their boots because you're doing stuff that they feel like only the protagonist in a movie can do, which is rise above the challenges or the shitty hand that was dealt to them in the beginning. They don't understand strength, strength of mind specifically. Like, forget the physical. This is about your mind and your personality and the way that it endures and does not corrupt. People, I saw a video earlier today talking about people can have one mishap happen to them and they're going to turn to a shitty person the rest of their lives. You've had the world fall on your head and you still don't give into that low vibing bullshit. And that's why you can lift it back up and grow big enough to not just have it rest on your shoulders like the Titan Atlas, but to actually have it in your hand. They just don't even, they cannot fathom what you are, collective, which is a human being that has finally gotten fed up with bullshit and decided to activate themselves. And people are always waiting for a moment for life to do it for them. And I feel like that's that catch 22, because technically you do need something large enough, something that you just cannot stand for anymore. Rock bottom, so that you can rise again. People can't handle rock bottom. They fall, however far they fall, and they crack their skull on the rocks. You fell just as hard, just as high, if not higher, cracked your skull on those rocks and healed. You just, you can't kill you. It's like there's just something about you that it gives immortal spirit. It gives like you are proving people who are nihilistic even. These are the people you trigger the most, the nihilistic people, the people who think there's nothing. You show them that there not only is there not nothing, there is a lot of something, right? And it's waiting for you to make a choice. It's already there, and now you need to meet it halfway. And I feel like that you do that. You did that. As soon as you realized where you were supposed to go, you went. You didn't hesitate, and that's why spirit doesn't hesitate with you. He got the devil. This is, look, right, the devil and the 10 of swords. An ending to captivity, specifically in the way that you think of yourself. The only cage, the only chains that could have ever held you were yours, right? In the last message, when I talk about the devil's chains being actual foam, I'm literally like, this is almost backing up the last message as well. Like, you really have put an end to the ties that bind. The mental ties, the mental image of yourself that you shattered and rebuilt about how you actually, who you wanted to be, who you actually felt like. This is what bridged the inner and the outer gap. Because I'll tell you something about cognitive dissonance when it comes to the glow up, when it comes to the mindset glow up, you will face cognitive dissonance at first because your outer doesn't match the inner. You've been feeling like shit for however long, and now you want to feel good. Who do you think you are, right? And it's like your mind will fight you tooth and nail. Why? It's not because it wants to hurt you. It's because it's predictable. Remember, so the brain is a prediction machine, and it quite literally generates reality from predictions. It's like what we see is real, but it's technically not the truth, right? If we were to peel the layers back of our perception, the world would be unbearable to live in. The world would be unbearable. You just couldn't do it. So when you do not have the matching inner and outer, your mind is going to do everything it can to revert yourself back to something you're trying to escape. And it will never not do this, by the way. A lot of people think, oh, if this happens, it's a warning. No, bitch. It's a green fucking light, because if you don't press the gas, you're never going to get off the starting line. Your brain, your ego is going to drag you back into safety if it has to do it by your hair, right? If they can stop you from actualizing potential, which threatens the ego's safety, especially if you came from a place of not feeling good about yourself, not feeling worthy about yourself. The mind, even though it craves the ascension beyond that, it will never do it of its own accord because it's afraid, and it's simply illogical to the mind who predicts your reality based on your past. So you have to brute force that, and you did. You did. This is about you, right? At rock bottom, not only climbing out by like a hand, but also like sprouting wings, because that's what's required of you. Your body could only get you so far at one point. Like, you have to, I don't know, you have to push yourself past those limits. And I feel like that people have watched you do this. It's a very Saturnian energy, and that's funny because Saturn's about drawing boundaries. It's about your limits. But there's a lesson in Saturn about defining your own limits. You have to have them, but there's nothing written in stone about where the boundary lies, and you figure that out. Look, 8 of Swords. I was about to shuffle 8 of Swords. This is that. Like, again, here you are, surrounded by whatever it is, your depression, your failures, your anxieties, whatever it is, rock bottom. And look what's behind you, a castle, and everything around you, those things that I just mentioned, that all of these were tools that you can cut yourself free with them. Because I'll tell you why, it's about duality. Like, everything needs a balancing counterpart for it to work. And also, you need the balancing counterpart to even describe the thing itself. To describe rock bottom, there has to be sky high. To the destitute, there has to be the wealthy. They cannot exist without each other. And you playing with this springboard is really, it's impressive, and it's interesting because I'm getting like somebody feeling out the energy like putty or slime, knowing how to mold it, knowing how to work with it. And the more you do it, the better you get. The more obstacles that were placed in front of you, the more it forced you to think harder outside of that box to cut you free. Yeah, look, we got the Six of Wands. This is literally smooth sailing. This is, do you see the star? This is like, this is out of rock bottom. Oh my God, I love the cards. This is out of rock bottom. Literally, like this is when you finally get out of that thing and you see the star that's been guiding you the whole time. From the deep pit, it looked like a pinprick of light, but as you approach the surface, it widens and widens, and then you see the starry sky with one bright star that was calling you, that was leading you. And all it said, the only requirement for you was to not lay back down. If you lay back down, it's done. But if you continue to march, even if it's a centimeter a day, you're going to get there. And I feel like that this holds true. It truly does. We'll take this one. Look at the Six of Wands. Look, this is recognition. But more than that, like, because this isn't about other people. It's about, well, part of it was about others, but like we've transitioned into like, why were they even feeling like this? Because it's you. And this is you outside of the pit. This is your self-image. This is the actualization. And this is, look, the things beneath you now are the things that hindered you, the things that you have brought to heal. You know, they're still there with you because you've transmuted them. You realize that they weren't stuff to get rid of. There's no point in getting rid of stuff sometimes, right? In this case, and this energy, you understood what it was actually for. Sure, it was negative at first, but just because it's negative doesn't mean it can't flip. And you figured out how to flip it. You figured out how to flip it. This is the middle pillar. This is choosing ascension, transcendence over polarization. And that's how you got out of that pit. Because if you were polarized, you'd be scaling the walls. You'd be scaling the walls, and there would be like, think of it like a curve, right? Right before the center, you're never going to get out unless you have an absurd, delusional amount of like physical upper body strength or mental fortitude that just isn't realistic, right? Because you just give like work smarter, not harder. Once you figured out that you could grow wings in that place, you did, right? You didn't have to scale the wall. I like that, collective. You're given, get out of my way. That's what you're giving. Yeah, it's like you found yourself. You found yourself in such a different way. I don't know why am I being so dramatic, like in the bowels of hell? But you did, like, you did. And once you found yourself, you transformed. Do you see how, like, that? I love the symbolism here. Here's the star, and it led you here. It led you there. And then remember what I was saying earlier about that thing was always there. The spirit was always there. It was waiting on you. Here's that. Here's that. The one who had to climb out of hell to meet the one who descended from heaven to bless them. That's what happened with you, collective.